It is time for another edition of Shiftwork, presented by our friends at Russell Steaks, Chops, and More. And joining me this time around, Josh Ramos from Ramos & Ramos. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. I'm glad to be here.
So what I found really interesting about you and your wife working together is in just a short amount of time, you've taken this from a business you started at home to 20 members in your firm. How does that happen?
Well, when I started practicing law, I was initially waiting tables to pay rent, and then eventually, while my wife was still in law school, the business picked up just enough where we can say, hey, we're going to make this an effort, and we ended up getting a small office in Niagara Falls while my wife was finishing law school. It ended up picking up enough clientele, and my theory has always been once I have to work a Saturday, multiple Saturdays a month, I wanted to spend the time with my kids. So every time we got just a little bit busier, I'd rather hire someone else, and as a result of that, we just kept growing and just kept adding more people, and now we have quite a few people who care about every one of our clients, and I'm happy with that.
So it is about customer service, isn't it?
Yeah, even though we're a profession, it isn't the legal world of 25, 30 years ago where you just hang a shingle and people come to you. Now there's attorneys left and right almost on every corner. So you have to set yourself apart and realize it's not just you're providing a service, as in I'm going to do a will or I'm going to show up to your court appearance. You actually have to treat them with respect as equals, and you have to treat your clients with great customer service.
So by now people know that you and your wife are partners. How does that work out? Because there's a lot of people watching that maybe want to start a business, thinking about going into it as a couple. How does that work?
It is very trying. But at the end, we always try to do our best to compromise as partners, and the best example I can kind of give you is I have an idea, let's say, I want to go out for Chinese food and my wife wants to go out for Italian, and we compromise and go out for Italian. So
I know how that works.
Yeah, we do our best to keep each other happy and work with what the other person wants and what's important to them. But as a result, as long as we still have that same focus of good customer service and good legal work, and we're providing a great product, then it has contributed to our success and growth.
So you're going to be expanding, I understand.
Yes.
What are your fears, or what's your advice to someone thinking about that?
Let's say, for instance, we're expanding with a new building in Rochester. We had to sit down and realize what the actual cost of this was going to be, what we need to become profitable to break even, and if we're not profitable, can we sustain that for a year or two? So we had to sit down, and my advice to everyone is just make sure you have a good plan, make sure you know what these expenses are, not just your rent, make sure you know what your advertising is, what time commitment you're going to need, and also can you do it without sacrificing customer service in your home base.
You could have done this in Florida, you could have done this elsewhere. Why Buffalo?
Well, actually, I'm also licensed in the state of Florida, and I was working at a public defender out there. First and foremost, the winters in Buffalo beat the summers in Florida. And the number one reason why we're back here is because my wife's family's here, my family's here, and we have 3 kids. And at the end of the day, Buffalo is such a welcoming community. They always say, hey, there's 6 degrees of separation. In Buffalo, it's 1 to 2 at most.
Right.
So it just, a community where everyone wants to help each other out, and this is going to be my lifelong home.
Well, congratulations on your success, and good luck with the expansion, too.
All right, well, thanks, man.
It's Josh Ramos from Ramos & Ramos. Our next edition of Shiftwork right here at Russell Steaks, Chops, and More with WYRK.